Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing rendition of Libservative Intellectual Idiots Fostering Political and Cultural Literacy and the world's smartest internet show. All opinions heard on tonight's episode are our own and not necessarily those of Libservative. Bill the Bodysnatcher, finally a full-time employee. He's back. He's wearing his Raiden hat that he happened to pick up at Epstein Island. It was a long journey back, Bell.
He had
How
to
was
take
it?
a rowboat. Customs was a bitch.
They use these to hide their faces.
It's such a boomer hat. I love it.
It was hot, you know.
Did you get that? Did you actually get that off like the seasonal rack at like Walmart?
Yep. That's exactly right.
I knew it.
I was going up north for a grad party. I was like, I need a hat.
So that's the one you went with.
Yeah.
And of course, he as always is
I
Corey
literally
Walsh.
Not judge one bit. Mine is literally right there. Like, I'm not. Should I put mine on? He's Dan Griffin. Should I put mine on to show solidarity with the? I wouldn't be able to wear my fucking headphones if I had that thing on.
Daddy, you're my daddy.
Damn straight.
You sure about that?
So sometimes, that is one of the best instances of when Corey's ADHD is fantastic because he had to make the comment about the hat, but he still heard what I said. and still responded to it once he got the thought out.
The show comes first, Dan. After my thoughts. Thoughts and prayers, brother.
Oh, speaking of thoughts and prayers, man.
What? I'm not allowed.
I thought it started with I was going to try to stop it, but don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Speaking of thoughts and prayers, rest in peace to the in peace to the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Ozzy Osbourne, man. He created a whole genre of music.
You know what I found so interestingly ironic about that is that
He went home to his mama.
he did. He did. That's the last thing he sang. And what I found so kind of, I don't know, I feel like Ozzy would find this humorous. The fact that he's like this satanic figure forever, you know, like he's basically the godfather of heavy metal at this, you know, I think most people would agree with.
Yeah, the Prince of Darkness.
He's like this like dark satanic figure who, you know, quote unquote bites the heads off bats. And you have like all the boomers that listen to him that go to church now that are like, R.I.P. Ozzy, you're gonna do so well in heaven. when their parents, when they were listening to them when they were kids, were probably like, you know, that guy's going to hell, right?
Gained an angel who knows how to shred.
Now they hate illegals.
Oh Lord, please.
God bless the boomers.
God bless.
We wouldn't be gobbles, Borther. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. In this $37 trillion debt with never-ending wars. Fucking God bless the boomer.
Yeah, and not even, and we might be able to afford a house.
And then they gaslight us that we don't work enough.
You know, when I was your age, I worked 2 jobs, walked up and down the hill both ways in the snow with no shoes on.
Bought a brand new house, minimum wage.
Yeah, you know what?
Man.
Let's go back in time, or let's bring you back to our age right now and make you start from where we are, and let's see what they would melt down.
It would be they would probably be leftists because they were all hippies back then.
Yeah,
they'd probably be leftists throwing bricks at cops.
Come on now, you expect me to believe that?
It's actual audio from a boomer.
That's the thing, right? And that's, I think it's like, it's a caricature of boomers that like, they're like, oh, they're all racist, when it was literally their generation that fought for like desegregation.
Oh, I know. That's one thing. That's one thing that
around people that don't look like them, and then it immediately makes them a racist. And I don't think it really does. They're old. It's like, come on, give them a.
That's one of those things that, like, I think Gen Z gets wrong, is that when they want to say that boomers are racist, like, yeah, I don't think that's true. You can absolutely shit on them for a lot of things.
They have the conversation skills when they talk about race issues. That's equivalent to fucking 60 grit sandpaper.
Or like, they'll make the joke.
Raw skin, and and it's like, and when they say this shit, you have every right to go, ooh, yeah, no, we don't say that word. You know what I mean? Like, or they'll say that shit to them.
Or they'll make like a tongue-in-cheek joke, like, also R.I.P. fucking Theo Huxtable also died the other day, Malcolm Jamal Warner. But they'd be the kind of person, when you told them that he died like swimming in Costa Rica because he got ripped out by a current, they'd like whisper in your ear, it's like, yeah, that's because none of them know how to swim. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of joke that a boomer would make.
Like, I'm just kidding. You know what? I used to grow up with the Cosbys, and it was.
Kid, you want to listen to Mozzie?
It was a really good show. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
They were, and then they would say they were one of the good ones.
One of the good ones,
right? And it's like, it's like, you know what you do? You run into a bunch of fucking old ignorant bastards, and it's like, yeah, you know what? They sound like a fucking idiot, but
Very successful, very
other
rich.
than the like 300 and I want to say 60. Actually, that's just federal government, but like all the ones that are boomers that are like in power. Other than that, like 0.00001% of the entire boomer population. The rest of them, they can't do shit. They all got.
I didn't know she was black.
Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to simp for boomers right now. I'm just saying that, like,
focus on the right things, you know? Focus on the right.
I was going on 2 tangents there. First off, most of them don't even have a seat of power that they could do anything, to where, like, when someone just says words you don't like, it doesn't mean anything because they have no power to enact them.
It's all right. The ADHD got you again.
I think I was pretty cogent there, Dan.
Ew, gross.
God, what the hell was the name of the company? That CEO that got busted at the Coldplay concert?
Yeah.
So this is why the internet is so fucking wild, dude, because apparently he threw out a statement that turned out to be fake.
I actually have the audio of the statement. It was weird, right? It was
Tastes like cigarettes.
that was his defense to the wife. She wasn't even that good, babe.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing, is like, that's what makes the internet wild. He puts out a statement that everybody starts sharing that the company is now saying is fake. And then his wife puts out a statement in response that also turns out to be fake. Like, what the hell is going on here? Why does the internet do this to us?
It's wild because 6 months ago, millennials and Gen X and all the other generations were shitting on the boomers we were just talking about how they're going to have a real hard time with AI.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, this isn't even AI. This is just like writing a statement down and pretending like it's from that person. You know what I mean?
You know how I know you're gay? Yeah. You like Coldplay.
This has been going on for a long
Apparently
time.
not. Some people just be getting bitches.
I guess so. I mean,
I guess, yeah, just
If you're a CEO,
at
the Coldplay concert.
I'm one of those people that, like,
no, he lost 50% of his net worth. He lost his job. Like, was it worth it, bro? Was she that good?
From someone who I feel
Coldplay's not that good, dude.
I feel like I'm someone who could never cheat. I don't know. I'm just really awkward when it comes to it. I'm really weird with it. Like, whenever a girl shows me interest, yeah, I've tried it. No, just kidding. But it's but like, if you did, it just seems like it'd just be really fucking easy to just not go somewhere where you're going to be in front of a camera.
In a public space. Yeah, I've said this. I've even said this to my wife. It's like if I wanted, even if I wanted to cheat, it is way too much work. It seems like so much more trouble than it's ever going to be worth.
Yeah.
Like if I really, really want to get off that bad, I got a hand. I can take a little trip to the bathroom. There's no commitment there. You know what I mean? Like you make it happen. You leave. Nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. I'm trying with my life of all of my extracurricular activities and ADHD. Trying to remember a wedding anniversary and a birthday.
Oh shit, buddy! I gotta dig a little deeper.
Or just which days I'm doing this and like the little like social schedule we have and stuff. Like trying to keep up with that is so much work for me.
It's already hard.
That like trying to like, yeah, let me just double this.
You got like a whole nother extended family you gotta like worry about.
Yeah.
It's already hard enough. Did you guys see the
it's just funny.
Did you guys see the epic I sent Bell the video on this. Did you guys see the epic fart at the Open Championship this last weekend?
I saw the video.
So it's during a Scotty Scheffler shot. Scotty, the number one player in the world, goes out, bombs the rest of the competition, wins the Open Championship to win his fourth major before 30 years old. Only 6 other players in the history of golf have done that. This guy is the cream of the crop when it comes to golf in this world. And some asshole decides to defile Scotty's approach shot into the green on the first day of the tournament before he even has a chance to get going. Go ahead, Bell.
This is a great view of it here because so far above the green, downwind you can get onto this green, but Scheffler. What do you think about it? There's so much to say about that shot.
Hold on, Bell, rewind it, play it again.
Green,
Play it again.
That's so fucking funny. Dude, like, I have a million just little things popping in my head right now. Like, Happy Gilmore 2 comes out in 2 days. Like, did some disc golfers go to a ball golf tourney?
No, I think it was a bunch of drunk Northern Irishmen that didn't want to see an American take their title again. But at least it sounded like it was like it really needed to come out. It sounded like one of those farts where it's just like, this isn't gonna wait. It's not gonna wait, because it didn't sound wet, right? It didn't sound terribly offensive, but it was offensive. Very, very offensive to do that to the number one player in the world.
It was like a ha, you know.
I mean, it sounded like somebody had, I don't know, what's the national food of Northern Ireland? I don't know. Let's assume it's some kind of
potatoes.
It probably is. You're probably right. So, but the potatoes don't give you gas, so that can't be what I was going for. I should have written that joke down before we started the show. Doesn't matter. Just offensive. No, just why the fart happened. I can't do these things on the fly.
It's funny.
It sounded good. It was nice.
I was just like, it'd be really funny if I fart. It sounded like a fart sound, like someone played it on a phone.
It absolutely, I mean, you're right. It did kind of sound fake, but it also sounded, if it was real, it sounded absolutely like it was a pusher. I mean, somebody really forced that thing out. Good for them, though. I hope they felt better afterwards.
Fucking white people.
The last thing I have for my opening notes is Rahm Emanuel may be making a possible presidential bid, and he was actually on with, of all people, Megyn Kelly. I don't know if it was today or if it was last night or it was in the last few days. Megyn Kelly, a conservative talk show host, is interviewing Rahm Emanuel, who was Barack Obama. He was Obama's chief of staff, right? I think that's what he did. He was also the former mayor of Chicago, good friends with Barack Obama. And I can't believe there weren't more Republicans coming out and going, "How dare you platform that man, Megyn Kelly? How dare you platform Rahm Emanuel? That's not acceptable." But I haven't seen a whole lot of it. So here we are. But Rahm Emanuel, before you play it, Bell, he says something in this interview that I think might be sort of trying to put his finger on the pulse of making a 2028 presidential bid. And I think you'll know what I'm talking about right at the end of this. I don't know, it's about a 2-minute clip that Bell's going to go ahead and roll for us.
Do you believe boys should be able to play in girls' sports?
No.
Do you believe that...
Is this the round robin?
Yeah, we'll do a quick rapid fire. And then we can move past this.
Okay.
Do you believe that kids under the age of 18 should be able to be put on puberty blockers and then cross-sex hormones?
I think parents have to make that decision themselves. I think that a child is too young at 18 to make that decision. It has to be made with a family and that choice. I think before somebody makes a life decision, they have to think twice about that.
So you disagree then with the Tim Walz policy in Minnesota, where a child who doesn't get affirmed by his parents can go into Minnesota and get jurisdiction there and get the parental decision overruled?
Yeah, look, I think these are life decisions, and I'm also slightly both. I have two minds on, not two minds, but two.
Rahm's trying to sit on the fence a little bit.
There's a life decision, and a child can't make that decision. You have to have some moral development and character and judgment and foundation for that. 2, parents have to be involved in that, and I think that's for them to make. I don't think the public should be in that space.
What if, there are some parents out there who are completely whacked in the head. There really are. They're
well,
not.
That's not
all
news, is it?
But
it's not just on. No.
No, it's not news. But to me, it's terrifying because
I left this out, but I want to repeat it. Is I have a son and 2 daughters, and they are physically different, and that's why when it comes to sports.
Why did all the Democrats bail off of that point? A couple came out right after the election and they said what you just said, and then they got browbeaten, and then they started to walk back.
The answers in the question. That's not ever scared me. And I used to say this to President Clinton and President Obama: sound is not always fury. Sometimes it's just sound. And don't assume just because somebody's screaming at you, they represent more than their own voice.
Should we be putting men in female prisons? Men claiming they're women?
No.
And all right, here's my last one for you. Can a man become a woman?
Can a man become a woman? No.
Thank you. It's so easy. Why don't more people in your party just say that?
Because I'm now going to go into a witness protection plan.
Rahm, you're not allowed to say that.
You said it.
Is that Rahm Emanuel's attempt to be considered for the Democratic nomination in 2028 and try to get back some of the men that the Democratic Party recognizes that they have absolutely lost? Is it a stupid issue for overall? Yes, I believe that it is, but it's culturally relevant right now. It's becoming less and less so, but it's still culturally relevant. Megyn Kelly asks about it. I mostly like Megyn Kelly. I think she focuses on the gender stuff a little bit too much for my liking. But the fact that Rahm Emanuel answered that way, and he only hesitated a little bit before he said no when Megyn Kelly asked if a man can ever become a woman. Only a little bit. And he had to, sip his coffee while he was doing it. I think that might be sort of a feeling out statement by Rahm Emanuel. And how much of that came from the DNC? Because the DNC's been so bad on having their pulse on particularly American cultural issues, because obviously those are the electoral issues when it comes to the Democratic Party. They've been so bad at it. Did anybody from the DNC sit down with Rahm Emanuel and say, Megyn Kelly's going to ask you about gender stuff. Here's how we want you to answer?
He is deep in the DNC realm. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is. Because they've been so bad. Did they finally figure it out? Or did Rahm Emanuel go rogue? Did he go rogue against the DNC?
So here's what you do, right? Like if you want to try to rebrand a political party without losing credibility, it has to look like a hostile takeover. I realized it with the Republicans. That's what the Republicans did with Trump. Rebrand, like if you try to rebrand the party when you have no credibility, you have to manufacture that being burned down and make it looking like it's something new.
But are we supposed to believe
right?
that,
like, I mean, I don't know. This is just we're just talking.
No,
but,
I don't disagree with your statement at all. But here's the disconnect that I see.
That's me thinking as if any of these parties had their shit together. 4D chess, but
are we supposed to believe that a guy like Rahm Emanuel, who is about as, Democratic Party elite as just about anybody can be, is going to be the guy that's going to do a quote unquote hostile takeover of the DNC and of the Democratic Party? He is the Democratic Party. Who is more Democratic Party than Rahm Emanuel outside of Barack Obama himself?
John Ossoff.
Nobody. Nobody.
Oh no, John Ossoff. I don't. Is John Ossoff considered to be on the outside or?
No, he's a pretty party line kind of guy. That's why he almost lost to Herschel fucking Walker.
One of my TikTok videos is him actually.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
You're gay.
I just thought that was interesting, something to look out for. It seems to me, because I don't know that Gavin Newsom has a chance.
They throw someone out there. Like, remember when one of the younger Kennedys did the speech? It was one of Trump's first term speeches, and they had that young Kennedy come out and give the Democratic State of the Union address. Remember how either side does that? And he did it. He did it from like an auto shop where there were some cars up on hoists, but it was so the cleanest shop you've ever seen in your entire life.
Like we care about the working man here at the Democratic Party.
John Ossoff roll them sleeves up. You have the sleeves rolled up. That's what they do. The Republicans do it too, right? But when they're trying to represent themselves as the working man, they're still wearing an $80 shirt and $70 pants that are pressed, and the shirt's tucked in with the belt, and they have but they'll have some $150 Air Jordans on that match the shirt instead of dress shoes, and they're not wearing a tie and the sleeves are rolled up. I'm one of you guys.
It's like when Sean O'Brien,
and then they're
Sean O'Brien rolls into UPS.
Wear the shirt, right.
It's like if Sean O'Brien rolled into UPS and just put on the brown uniform. I'm right there with you guys. I'm one of you guys.
like someone running for the presidency and throwing on an apron and a hat at McDonald's.
Yes. Although, to Trump's credit, that was brilliantly timed.
The only thing that would be worse than that, Dan, is lying about working at McDonald's.
Exactly. That's why it was actually kind of brilliantly timed by Trump, because Trump could be like, this is a fucking joke. I realize this is a joke, but I've also worked more hours at McDonald's than Kamala Harris. So it kind of worked.
Do you think he asked for his free meal?
His shift meal?
I bet you he actually ate it too. He
I'm
probably made it
100%
himself.
sure he did. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he loves.
Can I get a Big Mac with my shift? Ha ha ha.
And they're like, yeah, Mr. President, you can. Oh, really?
Yeah,
I like you.
Yeah.
You need to make her manager. It's like you can literally picture all these scenarios in your head because it's all just fucking cookie cutter bullshit, man.
She deserves a raise.
Very successful, very rich. Seriously overweight. takes the fat shot drug.
Oh man, we have to get into the latest soap
Real
opera.
quick.
at
You
the
know,
White
you got
House.
your opening notes. I need.
Yeah,
to
you
give
got
you
opening
one of
notes?
mine. Just
Oh
one.
boy.
One of our pretty avid listeners, actually. I went down. I made the road trip to Indiana for their baby shower, and the fucking present didn't come in time. But I want to present to him the gift I'm going to be sending to him soon. This is the book.
Man, fuck them kids.
If you
And then
listen to
it-
Libservative, Corey will attend your baby showers.
And then it's dedicated to.
I truly apologize for the misleading.
Wait, you got to read it for the listeners.
To all pedophiles, I truly apologize for the misleading title.
Yeah, it's a book. I still got to sign it for him.
Mango tear.
And I'm not going to show up to anyone's baby shower, Dan. You don't fucking say that.
I
shit.
didn't say that. Bell said that, damn it.
Yeah, no. I've also known this man for 30 years of my life.
I
So
know, damn it.
If you did show up
funny,
at
though.
somebody's random baby shower, this would be actual audio.
nerd. Yeah, go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
That's future actual audio for when Corey shows up to a random baby shower. Corey's a baby shower crasher now.
I'm gonna show up in
My 67 Corvette.
Oh man, we got to get to the.
You're not that smart. I know what's going on. You're just showing off on friggin' TV again.
We got to get to the soap opera at the White House because we are in a situation now where it's Russiagate or Epstein, pick a side or fuck off. That's basically where we are right now. And I think that's kind of by design. And honestly,
Isn't that hilarious? The same fucking attorney general that no one's trusting over Epstein trusts them for the Russiagate thing, and
trust them,
and vice versa.
Trusting Pam Bondi. You know what? Honestly, poor Pam Bondi right now. Honest to God, because she was put in a situation where she's running and trying to get her position as Attorney General. She's colluding around with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino during the election cycle. We're going to bring the Epstein files out. There's going to be so many horrible Democrats that are in there. There's going to be transparency.
Yeah.
And then she's forced to be like, oh, nothing to see here. And then
Even though
after
the Wall Street
that,
Journal just doubled down and said that, oh, actually, you told Trump.
yes.
He was.
We'll get to that.
In the documents.
We'll get to that because, in fact, we'll get to that right away. But what I was going to say is,
I think she's the only one that's been in more hot water than Tulsi, because Tulsi came out and said Iran didn't have nuclear weapons, but now she's in the clear because she came out with the Russiagate shit. But Pam Bondi's getting tossed around like a fucking racquetball.
yeah, but Russiagate is going to fuck Pam Bondi even harder because nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen, and then she's going to get thrown under the bus again.
She's 100% getting fired. Either that or they're going to let her go through, and they're going to let her take the hit, and then they're going to fire her.
I don't think she's long. I think you're right, Bell. I don't think she's long. I don't think she's long for this administration because of that.
She resigned.
She is the unbelievable scapegoat in this. So
she resigned?
No. I'm saying that's what it's going to be. It's going to be she's resigned.
Yeah, but it's not going to be till after all the shit.
Right. It might be months from now.
Biggest scapegoat in Trump administration history.
It'll be Pam Bondi. Her career will be over. It won't be good. But choose your bedfellows wisely, I guess. So Trump is at war, as you were saying, Corey, with the Wall Street Journal over the Epstein files reporting. So last week, just to catch anybody up who's been living under a mushroom, last week there was the quote unquote creepy letter.
The doodle.
Trump and the doodle from Trump to
I don't
Epstein.
I don't ever draw.
Yeah. It's like,
this is American politics, Dan.
Does Trump only speak in absolutes? Like, has he ever said, like, I mean, at least with regards to himself, right? Because he'll say maybe when he's like, well, maybe I'll bomb Russia, maybe I won't, maybe I'll do tariffs, maybe I won't. But with regards to himself, it's just complete absolutes all the time.
Smoking gun, it's the doodle.
The smoking doodle.
Smoking doodle.
You have the quote unquote creepy letter from Trump to Epstein that Trump, of course, says is fake. And to his credit, nobody can seem to produce the actual letter. I mean, the Wall Street Journal kind of threw it out there in like typed form, which of course could mean that it doesn't exist. I don't know. After Russiagate, this is why Russiagate is another reason why Russiagate is so problematic. Aside from the fact that you had an outgoing administration essentially try to frame an incoming administration for treason, as if that's not bad enough. This is an issue where MAGA and Trump himself, they're always going to have a get out of jail free card in at least a swath of public opinion, because he's already been lied about at a high degree once. So all he's got to do, anytime anything bad comes out about him, all he's got to do is say it's a lie, and
that's
these
what
people are going to believe him.
Did exactly. That's like, it was one of the biggest fucking. It wasn't good. Okay, the entire fucking country was lied to over a fabricated document called the Steele dossier, to say that Trump was essentially working with Putin, but it was all fake. It was all fake and funded by Hillary Clinton. I know this all sounds like crazy conspiratorial hat shit, but all of this shit is real. Trump's like fucking office or his house or whatever was bugged. Like this shit actually happened.
Just a little bit off topic, but this
and all happened. It did was just like what Dan just said. It just delegitimized the entire, intelligence agency, and it's one of the reasons why so many people are so far off base and are lost touch with reality, because of the fact they don't even know what the fuck reality is, because
Donald Trump is a bad guy. He's a bad person.
And we're seeing it again with the Epstein shit. You're seeing literally the entire nation be gaslit again.
Columbia University just agreed to pay more than $220 million in the settlement to the U.S. government to pay back some of the grants that Donald Trump took away.
Are they going to get grants after, though?
I think so.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
The college says that, but I don't think the government said that.
Well, then it's probably in the agreement for the settlement or whatever. But is that over protests?
Yeah, the expulsion of 70 students, I think. Pretty much because they were.
I just paid $88
for what? For protesting another country.
It's not even anti-Semitism.
For protesting another country.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Not allowed to do that.
Columbia just had to pay $200.
No, you're allowed to do that, just not that one.
No, yeah, it's Israel is not, anti-Israel speech is not covered by the First Amendment.
I thought the Republicans were supposed to be free speech, Dan.
When it's convenient. Just like Democrats are. This is why electoral politics is such bullshit.
Yeah,
right here.
Dude, it's so fucking frustrating. Because the Democrats who, when Biden was in office, literally created a ministry of misinformation to decide that the government gets to dictate to you what's true and what's false, because that has no ramifications.
No, I feel like we've read that somewhere in a fiction novel.
Yeah, what, 1984? And then the Republicans were like, "Oh, free speech, free speech, free speech,"
and they're also the one.
But now the Republicans are literally extorting a fucking college because some of their students protested not even America, but another country.
Free speech and transparency until the Epstein list comes up.
Or Israel, which might be one and the same.
There's a conspiracy, the Mossad agent, tinfoil hat.
Trump, of course, over the Wall Street Journal stuff, is threatening to sue for defamation. He will lose. He probably won't lose because the Wall Street Journal will probably settle. Rupert Murdoch has tons of lawyers. And yeah, and it'll be just like the George Stephanopoulos thing. Like what George Stephanopoulos said by calling Donald Trump a rapist, however many times he called him that, he was wrong, and he knew he was wrong. But if that were a case that had actually gone to anywhere, not even to trial, but anywhere close to getting to trial, Trump would have lost. It's just so hard to prove defamation because you have to prove that what the person's saying, that what the person was saying, they knew that it was false. Obviously, the Wall Street Journal does not know that what they're reporting here is false if it actually happens to be false. So he will lose. And he then decided, and Trump always does this, and I don't understand why his defenders are okay with Trump, who's supposed to be this strong man, being such an undeniable and unbelievable crybaby. He removed the Wall Street Journal from the White House press pool for covering his weekend trip to Scotland. It's just petty shit. Like,
I know.
But I thought Trump was strong and to make America great again and guns and
so
fights and
petty.
UFC.
It's gonna be a fight on the White House lawn.
But the Wall Street Journal, Corey, as you know, has since doubled down with a report earlier today that the DOJ informed Donald Trump, as you mentioned earlier, that he was in the Epstein files back in May. If that's true, it means he lied to the press, which is not a crime. You know, it's not illegal to lie to the press.
No,
but
lie all the time.
It's not a good look.
It's not a crime, and it's not unique to Trump.
And it's one of those things where you can't help but be a little bit suspicious because what we already know is that Trump and Epstein were really good friends for a while. We already know this. There's hundreds of pictures of them together. There's hundreds of events that they attended together. Like we already know that part. I don't think Trump has denied that. He hasn't really expounded upon that fact. But it's like if you're in these files and it's just because I use the term I hate what the term Epstein, quote unquote Epstein files has become because people act like it's like this book of just like things and names that people can read of stuff that happened. It's basically just anything that has to do with Jeffrey Epstein and who was involved with him on any significant level or insignificant level. But if you're in these files and you have nothing to hide, you know, and you know me as a libertarian, I'm not government should be able to do what they want you to do if you have nothing to hide. I feel that way about private people. I don't feel that way about people that are actually involved in the government because you work for us. We don't work for you. We don't support you. We support you. You don't support us. So,
that stretches really far.
It is a situation. It is a situation where if you have nothing to hide, show it. Why is it so crazy?
I was going to say, I'm reading right now. So since all that happened, Wall Street Journal, blah, 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 a federal judge rejects the request to release materials related to the Florida Epstein investigation, which involves Trump. The Trump administration sought the release of the transcripts from that whole case on a probe into it beforehand, which tells me that they were just looking into it to see if Trump would actually be in trouble if the files were to be released. And a lot of MAGA is asking for answers, dude.
I know. Yeah, I mean, there really is a split when it comes to how MAGA feels about this. And the way I'll give you the way I feel about it too, because I think a lot of people feel this way. Most people just want disclosure. I don't think because I personally, based on what I know about Trump as a public figure, I don't think Donald Trump is a pedophile. And I'm going to give you the reason why I don't think he's a pedophile. because Michael Tracy made this point. He had a little debate. I don't know if you heard this, Corey, but he had a little debate with Sagar and Jetty last week on Breaking Points because Sagar's all in. Sagar's all in on the suspiciousness of the Epstein situation, and rightfully so. I get it.
Suspicious.
But Michael Tracy is. I like Michael Tracy. I think he's a smart guy. He does have a tendency to be a little bit contrarian, which honestly I think it's important. Somebody's got to do it, right? Yeah, somebody's got to do it. And so Michael Tracy had this what I thought was a pretty good point, where what this Epstein story has become, there is almost certainly a lot of mythology around this right now. You know, there's a lot of legend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just gives you that air of mythology and legend. And so Michael Tracy's point was that people that you think of as like a prototypical pedophile, a little bit awkward, kind of quiet around adults, maybe, peppy around children, they know how to talk to kids. But what you don't normally see with a prototypical pedophile is somebody who is flashy, somebody who has been seen in public with lots of women, somebody who's been busted doing, the grab 'em by the pussy thing, lots of locker room talk, bragging about how many women they've been with, womanizers, right? These guys that are pedophiles aren't generally that kind of guy. Not saying it's impossible, but generally they aren't. And who do you think of when you think of guys that behave like that? You think of Donald Trump and you think of Bill Clinton. These are guys that are disgusting. Don't get me wrong. They're absolutely disgusting. But
Jeffrey Epstein had a photo of Bill Clinton in a dress in his house. Like there's a lot of weird shit around all of it, to where I'm at the point that I would need evidence to prove that either of them didn't do it versus.
So guilty until proven innocent are we now, Corey?
I guess when it comes to just
gotcha.
I'm not a fucking lawyer. I'm not a judge. Get the fuck out of here with that, dude. Like, come on.
Do you believe these guys are pedophiles? Is that what you just said?
They were probably doing some weird shit. They were probably like, at the very, very least, they were on the level of like the Jordan Belfort, the guy from Wolf of Wall Street, depravity, who would admit the wild shit that they were fucking doing. You go and listen to some of his interviews.
But that's not necessarily pedophilia.
It's not pedophilia, but he probably hasn't also told all of his stories. I'm just saying, I said, that like
disgusting.
Even if it wasn't pedophilia, if those type of stories are out of like doing like bongs out of strippers' buttholes and shit like that, like they were probably, even if it was like, there's probably a lot of shit in videos and stuff that a lot of politicians don't want out, because the minute even one of them even mention it, they don't give a shit who you are. You could be a crippled in a wheelchair, and you talk about being offered coke, and then they kick you out. That's kind of
the other point. I'll actually back up your point a little bit on this, because who's to say...
But him not releasing it makes him look more like a pedophile than it does.
Let me ask you this.
Right. I think there's... Hold on, Bell. I'm going to make one more point, and then I'll let you ask your question. Something to kind of back up what you were saying, Corey. Just because it's not pedophilia doesn't mean that other things like human trafficking aren't involved. Adults can be human trafficked as well.
Right. Dan,
I'm with you on that.
Aren't billionaires, and you and I, if we are into depravity, could make like the 25, 28, 32-hour trip. I don't know how long it is, to the Mexican border, and go watch a chick get banged by a donkey.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't think that? You don't think that?
I get it.
These billionaires are doing some weird fucking shit.
Let me ask you this question: do you think it's more likely that Donald Trump was actually engaged, or Bill Clinton, whoever? We'll just go with Donald Trump for this one. Do you think it's more likely that Donald Trump is in those Epstein files, actually committing criminal acts against underage people, or he's in those files committing acts that will embarrass him extremely and really, really hurt his political prospects going forward. I think it's option 2.
What political prospects? He's like 78 years old.
All right, Corey, you've been wearing your tinfoil hat about this the entire time. I know you have. What if the guy's actually a Mossad agent and Donald Trump was an asset?
Oh yeah, that Epstein was a Mossad agent. That is tinfoil hat. But no, I'm not wearing my tinfoil hat because I've also entertained the thought that what if there is no Epstein smoking gun and that the Dems haven't released anything because the fog around it helps them more than being cleared.
Sure.
The Democrats haven't ran on releasing the Epstein list. Democrats haven't even mentioned the Epstein list. And it goes back to me saying that if there is any sort of documents or list, like we're never going to see justice for a bunch of innocent girls who
and it also
were part of this ring.
They're going
it
hard
also goes
right now.
It also goes back
because
to
it's politically it's
politically advantageous for them right now.
That's very telling as well.
Well, and it just goes back to
but they also
why
didn't need to. They never ran on it as a campaign promise.
But while the Republicans and Trump did. But it just goes back to the stupidity of electoral politics, right? Like all the Democrats need is for enough Americans to believe that Trump was committing acts against children.
It's so fucking stupid. They're going all in on this. Like we were just talking about them going all in on this because it's politically advantageous. And it's so fucking dumb because it has nothing to do with, I get you want justice for these minors, but the Democrats don't give a shit. They're doing it just because it is political clout. And Mike Johnson came out and said that, but anyone that's Democratic isn't going to believe that shit because they're all buying it hook, line, and sinker. They don't, if they can run on the Epstein list and hating Trump and combine those with like him not being supposed to be anti-war and then he attacked Iran, their whole party platform is written for him. They don't have to worry about policy. They don't have to worry about how to help the working class or help, people who are disadvantaged in this country or anything like that. They don't have to do any of that because all they have to do is do the same thing they did in 2020, same thing they did in the midterms of 2018, and the same thing they're going to do in the midterms in 2026 is just anti-Trump.
Corey,
well, they meanwhile taking all the money from the billionaires and the millionaires and their corporate lobbyists who are sitting there and helping them pump up their whole neocon bullshit policies that help fund terrible business models like Walmart.
You are 100% right, because when it comes to electoral politics, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to prove a goddamn thing.
It's the vibe.
All you have to do is make enough people think that the other side is evil and that your side is just, and you can win elections that way.
Dude, I should be a campaign manager. I could sit here and write 100 fucking slogans. Promises made, promises broken.
Every single time. Well, Corey, I'm glad because that is a perfect segue into kind of the next thing, which still certainly revolves around Epstein and other things with regards to Trump, because I have a genuine question for Trump voters, particularly young Trump voters, not boomers, because they're a lost cause. Yeah.
Lost cause.
Are you starting to see why
what?
Are you, like, to Trump voters, are you starting to see why electoral politics are a waste of time? Why electoral politics is just a distraction in a phony smearing war between two sets of cult leaders who are just throwing out complete smear campaigns. And in order to make you more obedient and more poor. I should say poor, because poor makes you obedient.
And honestly, I think even the poorness of it is just a byproduct. They just want to be more rich.
Why? I mean, do you understand why? Not you. Again, I'm speaking to Trump voters. Do you understand why it's just not a good idea to have heroes or think that a political figure is ever going to be your savior. And I ask you this, I'm asking Trump voters this question in good faith, because as we've mentioned before on this show, I've been there, Corey's been there, I'm sure Bell's been there. Corey was there with Bernie Sanders. I was there with Barack Obama. The hope, the change. Oh my God, this guy's going to save the country.
I was also there with Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, and it's never what you want, because what have we had so far with Donald Trump? We've had I'm going to end the Ukraine war in 2 days. Hasn't done it. In fact, now he's in a kind of clever way skirting around this, but sending more weapons to Ukraine to fight Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, he's just telling them the NATO, who the Democrats were swearing up and down he was going to dismantle.
Yeah,
dude, it's all so fucking goofy. We were excited for this, Dan. Remember, we said, "Oh man, Trump's gonna make the podcast a lot of fun."
And honestly, I really thought if there was a thing that Trump had a chance to do, it would be to end that war. I really did. But now that he's not getting what he wants, he's throwing a hissy fit.
You've done a hell of a lousy job.
He's throwing a hissy fit. He's threatening tariffs against countries that buy Russian gas. And you know what? It's such an empty threat as far as Vladimir Putin is concerned, because Biden already did all this, guys. Biden already did this.
He wants
with
to
the sanctions.
He wants to isolate the isolated country, is what he wants to do.
Russia has other allies all over the place.
Yeah,
BRICS
have both been buying oil from them.
BRICS is a thing. You do not have that kind of power anymore, and you're going to make things cost more.
Dollar and make it worse for the American people. That's one of the worst things that Biden ever did out of his entire fucking presidency, and nobody fucking talks about it because nobody. And I've only taken one fucking college class in fucking macroeconomics, but it's just like, dude, you literally devalued the US dollar so ridiculously. Like, there's a reason why people in America, even on minimum wage,
there's a website. There's a website that's called
standard of living compared to the standard of living of the rest of the fucking world, even European countries, is still better, because that dollar that you have that doesn't buy you shit here still gets traded all over the world, and it is still one of the most expensive currencies in the entire world. And Biden just completely fucking obliterated that.
But
you watch many countries join the BRICS thing, and so many countries decide to try Bitcoin or trade in their own crappy dollar just to avoid the chance of being sanctioned by the United States because they might do something you don't like.
It's not even Joe Biden. But
he was one of the major nails in the coffin for that.
No, well, yeah, sure, because he's the most.
And it started the weekend before that. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong.
No,
it was
Corey,
under Trump, it was weakening under Obama.
There's a website. There's a website. I forget what the hell it's called, but maybe I'll have Bell look it up for us. I think it's called something to the effect of like, what the hell happened in 1971? It's like, what the hell happened in 1971.com, or what happened in 1971.com.
Oh, okay. So it's when we went off the gold standard.
It's the year we went off the gold standard. This website is full of all sorts of graphs and all sorts of explanations about why the U.S. dollar and why your dollar year after year after year has gotten cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and why you simply asking for more money from your job doesn't really do you as much good as you think it does. Because every dollar that you make is being devalued every fucking day, which brings me to my next point about Trump. And things that he's promising to do, and, promises. What did you say, Corey? Promises made, promises broken.
See, that'd be a great campaign slogan, wouldn't it? I could be a campaign manager.
With regards to spending, $5 trillion added to the deficit over the next 10 years in the big beautiful bill. The first $1 billion Pentagon that we've ever had. Stop having political heroes. Stop thinking that we are going to ever vote our way out of this mess. The minute you realize that's never happening, at least not under the current system, is the minute that the American people can actually start to take back its government. These polls of I love my own congressperson, but Congress's approval rating is at like fucking 10%. How does that happen? Why does that happen? My people are great. I like my people. You're not in 90% of Americans, and I'm not shitting on anybody for this because we've talked about this a million times, Corey. People have lives, they have shit to do. They got dollars to make because they're being devalued every day. You're not paying attention to how your congressperson's voting. Ask yourself this question. And I'm guilty of it too. Do you think I know exactly how my congressperson voted on the last bill every single time? No, I don't. I should pay more attention. We all should pay more attention.
I know. We always preach to state, local, and then expand. And
so I guess going back to not having political heroes, I mentioned where I got duped with Barack Obama. Speaking to the Trump voters, let me show you how my being duped by Barack Obama and your being duped by Donald Trump are very, very, very similar. Political outsider, Corey. Who was portrayed as a political outsider, Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Oh, Obama was. He was the one going up against Hillary Clinton.
The answer is both. Both.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I see what
both
you're doing here. Yeah.
It was a little bit of a trick question. The answer is both. Both were presented as political outsiders. I'll skip to Barack Obama's first campaign. We'll start with healthcare. Everybody's going to have healthcare. It's going to be cheap. We're gonna help all the poor people get their healthcare. As a 20-year-old kid, I'm like, that sounds awesome. If people can go to the doctor and actually afford it, I love this idea. This sounds like a great guy to vote for. So what do we get? We get the Affordable Care Act, which is basically a tax on young, healthy, and
which was written by Republicans.
It was written by the Heritage Project or the Heritage Foundation. It was basically a tax on young, healthy individuals and families to help subsidize sick people. That's what it was. And basically free money for healthcare CEOs. That's what the ACA turned out to be. Promises made, promises broken. Let's go to spending. Donald Trump. Big, beautiful bill. Pentagon. A Pentagon budget of over $1 billion, the first one, which for some reason he bragged about, adding trillions of dollars to the deficit over the next 10 years. Promises made, promises broken. Let's go to war. Both presidents are involved in this one. Obama. I'm going to end the Iraq war. He didn't. He pretended to in December of 2011, but then had to deal with this little problem called ISIS, caused by constant destabilization of the region by the U.S. and Israel. Also, 550 drone strikes, primarily in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia, which, by the way, was 10 times more than George W. Bush. George W. Bush had about 55, 56 drone strikes. The anti-war president, Barack Obama.
To be fair to Obama, I feel like the drone technology under Bush versus Obama was vastly superior.
It did. Oh, sure. And if they had switched years in which they were presidents, am I trying to tell you that George W. Bush wouldn't have done it too? Of course he would have.
Look up, hey Bell, real quick. Look up plane strikes. I guess.
Is that a thing? Bombing campaigns?
Yeah, bombing campaigns under Bush versus Obama. I bet you.
As it pertains to Trump with regards to war, we already talked about this a little bit. I'm going to end the Ukraine-Russia war on day one, and it never would have happened if I was president. And now, because Putin is calling
You've done a hell of a lousy job.
And now, because Putin is calling his bluff, and rightfully so, on more sanctions and more tariffs, because Putin doesn't care. Putin doesn't care about sanctions. It hasn't worked to this point.
Well, you know what I got to say to Putin? You know what?
You're gay.
Yep. And Trump's throwing a temper tantrum and authorizing more weapons to Ukraine. My last area of comparability between Barack Obama and Donald Trump, my political hero from 2008 that I realized I was duped by versus many of yours in the audience, Barack Obama, economic renewal. Both are involved in this one. So Obama, instead of having economic renewal for Main Street, what did we have? We had Bank bailouts, resulting in zero accountability for predatory loans and inefficient firms that were basically told they could do whatever they wanted. Main Street suffered while Wall Street received billions in federal aid paid for by what? Your tax dollars, Corey. My tax dollars, Bell's tax dollars, our listeners' tax dollars. Some economic renewal we got out of Barack Obama. Now we have Trump. Doge. What a fucking joke that was. Tariffs, resulting in inflation. But don't worry, GDP is up. And we got a buttload of revenue from these tariffs very, very quickly, which, by the way, came out of your pocket, Corey, my pocket, Bell's pocket.
Yeah. Right. Because these companies are making shit in their countries and then having to sell it here at like 30-40% more, and then charging us Americans 30-40% more. And then the company goes, all right, we sold it to your country. Here's the tariff. Here's the 30%. And then our government goes, yes, we got them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's the Americans paying for it.
As if they're not jacking up the prices. And it's basically, just to add to that, it's basically an effective shutdown of trade on consumer goods, which, by the way, are the only thing that non-boomers can sort of afford. So who gets fucked the most? You get fucked. I get fucked. Anybody under the age of 60 gets fucked by this. And then there's the whole bring back manufacturing jobs. Can we please stop with this nonsense? Nobody understands why manufacturing jobs left the United States in the first place. And notice how most of the people that want those jobs back, and you're going to know who I'm talking about as soon as I say this,
boomers.
Most of the people that want those jobs back are not the people that are going to be working them. Oh, and by the way, the people that might actually work them, you're trying to fucking deport. What are we doing here? Manufacturing jobs left the United States because that is what first world countries do. You take your shitty jobs and you outsource them somewhere else so that you can have them done cheaper, so that more people can afford to buy those goods as they come back overseas, and your workforce can now focus on doing more innovative, creative, better jobs.
It's just kind of a false promise. And here's why: because will manufacturing jobs come back? Like, is there, at this point collectively from all these countries, like possibly trillions of dollars talking about investing in manufacturing plants here in America? Is that stuff happening? Sure. But it's not going to be a Ford plant or a GM plant from 1990 where there's 1,500 people working in the plant during a shift. It's going to be 50, 100 people running a bunch of automated machines. It's the jobs that are coming back, because even though we want manufacturing jobs back here, because like you said, we're a first world country, like we want things a little bit more sanitized. We want things a little bit like, we want the work environment to be like, like not just like survivable, but livable, and so it's going to be like air conditioned facilities
and comfortable.
Yeah. And these people are going to be getting paid like $20-$30. And will this collectively make maybe 100,000, 200,000 jobs? Possibly. But it's not going to be an influx that like people think that it is, because the other jobs that are still manual and hot and in the environment and things like that are going to be people coming here that are way more like desperate for these jobs. Will there be people that are in America that are desperate for these jobs? Sure. But there's going to be a hell of a lot more people coming here that are destitute that are going to be taking those jobs. But we're trying to kick them all out.
I'm with you. I want to play a game with you.
And that's not even and that's why I was trying to like use the word destitute and desperate, because it doesn't matter if it's people that are coming here from other countries or people that are here. The jobs in those things are going to be a little bit lower wage regardless. And it's going to be the most desperate, the most, the people who are trying to build a resume to work their way through the whole labor force that are taking the low wage job just because it's any job that's available.
Yeah. So it seems to be that you should do what first world countries are supposed to do in a free market, which is have better, more innovative jobs. And yeah, and I'll give Trump credit for this. You need to deregulate to do that. And we're seeing some of that, and that's good.
But they always deregulate. Like, why is it always like the stupidest fucking thing?
Yeah, they always do bad deregulations first.
No, when it comes to like regulations and stuff, I am a huge fucking proponent on any legislation and any regulation, like having a sunset clause. This needs to be revisited in 10 years because it might be at the point where it's like, we can revisit this because technology.
Yeah, but Corey,
like
I'm also not talking about
things. It's like, let's stop checking for mercury in the lakes. Like that's, that's me being hyperbolic. But like those.
So no, you're right.
They always remove,
you're right. You're right, because I'm not talking about those sorts of deregulations. When we get to a point where those sorts of deregulations can be examined, then we've had a win. I'm talking about deregulation as far as lobbyists going to Washington, D.C. to write laws that protect their interests. I'm talking about protectionist regulation. That's the thing
100%.
that needs to go away.
Yeah,
to free up the market.
Big business. The big business that we have in our country would not survive. Like everyone talks about monopolies and stuff like that. They wouldn't survive in a
free market
without big government. Yeah, the perfect example of that is Walmart. Walmart's business model. The only reason it can exist is because of the government. They literally pay people slave wages and minimum wage, and then give them like sporadic schedules where they can't even try to find a second job or go to school or anything like that, to try to better themselves, and to where and they get paid so little that they have to rely on the government for different subsidies and stuff like that, for whether it's Section 8, food stamps, like welfare, anything like that, Medicaid, which I'm not knocking those programs specifically, or like, I'm not trying to just knock those programs in general. It's just, these people need those programs because the job they have doesn't let them afford finding a second job or go to school or even search and have a regular schedule. They can even schedule an interview for a different job. And the only reason these people can even work in that job is because the government is supplementing their low ass wage. And if that wasn't available, then a company like Walmart wouldn't be able to run a business model and extorting fucking poor people and people who can't, like, who are undereducated in our country. Because no one would go there. Because no one would go there and work for $7.25 an hour. Because they're not I'm just using them as an example. It's because like I know the numbers, like $4.6 billion in like corporate welfare, essentially, based on all their employees and how many of them are on government assistance. That business model wouldn't exist because people couldn't afford to do that job. They would probably have to like do tricks and return fucking cans or something because they couldn't afford on the $7.25 there if it wasn't governmentally subsidized.
Or they'd have to be moved,
like Walmart
or they would have to move, or
raise their.
They would be homeless.
Yeah,
which means they would lose their job anyway.
Walmart would have to raise their wages to attract employees if they weren't able to exploit people who were in a desperate situation already.
Yeah, I want to.
And there's people that go there, and like and there's people that go there and they start off at 16, and they get in there and they end up moving up and becoming like a regional manager and stuff like that. And that stuff happens, sure, but.
I want to play a game with you and Bell real quick.
All right, let's play a game.
I want to play a game called Who Said It?
Ooh.
Barack Obama or Donald Trump? Just to kind of piggyback on why Donald Trump supporters, Donald Trump is your Barack Obama. You didn't need it. You shouldn't have heroes. Quote number 1. I don't oppose all wars. What I'm opposed to is a dumb war. Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
I'm going to go Barack Obama.
That's a point for Bell. Barack Obama in a 2002 speech at Federal Plaza in Chicago when he was still a junior senator. Quote number 2. I think Corey might know this one. You guys might both know this one. Take the guns first. Go through due process second.
Oh, that's Trump.
We know, yeah. Trump.
That's Donald Trump. That was pretty obvious. That's your guy, guys. Not your guy, but you know, the people's guy.
The guy.
That's from a 2018 speech following the Parkland school shooting. You sensing a theme here, gentlemen?
Yes. I like this.
Quote number 3. As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect LGBTQ citizens.
Trump.
I'm going to say Trump also.
Ding, ding, ding. Gentlemen, you are both correct. That is from the Republican National Convention in July of 2016. The final quote. Bell's ahead by 1. Corey with a chance to tie. Well, you guys are both going to know this one. I had trouble finding good ones. Invading Iraq was the single worst decision ever made.
That's Trump.
Yeah.
That is Donald Trump, 2008 CNN interview. Did you sense a theme in those questions, gentlemen?
I like this game.
How they all kind of went against the grain of what you would think each guy would say?
Yeah.
Because electoral politics are bullshit.
You can kind of tell though, like Trump is too blunt, man.
That's why it was hard for me to find quotes from these two guys, because of the way each guy speaks. Like, there's like, how do I make it sound like this might be one guy or the other guy? It's really fucking hard to do. Next time I might have to paraphrase if I ever do. The point is, these two guys are the same. They're the same.
Yes.
They're the same guy.
He talks like this and he talks real cool.
Why don't we have any? Oh, by the way, why don't we have any Barack Obama drops? Why don't we have? Can I get a glass of water on here anywhere?
I didn't know she was black. I didn't know she was black. I didn't know she was.
How did that happen?
I threw the loop on because I wasn't sure how long the game show music was.
Ah, there you go.
I was trying to that was a good
little game
move, right? No, well,
yeah.
Me
that
putting
too.
it on loop until we fucked it up, and you had Trump saying I didn't know she was black 15 goddamn times. It's like I heard you the first time, dude.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Very successful, very rich.
So, with regards to the maybe eventual indictments coming down over Russiagate, how are we feeling about this? Because here's what I'm going to say.
They're all good. It's gonna be a nothing burger. Nothing's gonna happen.
I agree with that sentiment, but also it's one of those things where, again, electoral politics are stupid. Two things can be true at the same time. Like, I do think that the timing of this is extraordinarily convenient, giving Trump and his Epstein meltdown. But I also think on the other hand of that, on the other side of that coin, it's also really fucking important. Like, it can be both things.
It's also kind of silly. You know, he's chasing ghosts. He's going after people who have no, like, I get wanting justice. And, you know, and obviously this guy feels very jaded because while he was running for president, there was a mass campaign to try to say that he was Putin's puppet and stuff. But the people he's going after are already done with politics.
Doesn't mean they can't go to prison.
They go to
Arrest
prison,
Obama
sure.
is trending on X right now.
For what? For kind of being a part of the Flint water crisis, or
I wish that were why.
Or for bombing innocent people, some of them Americans with drone strikes.
No, that's all. We don't care about that. NIMBY, Corey. As long as he's not bombing us, it might have been around the corner. Bell, you have I sent you the video.
The FBI against a political counterpart is kind of a big deal.
I sent you the video of Tulsi Gabbard, right? Her statements today from the White House. We're just going to play the beginning of it because Tulsi Gabbard is getting hammered for this. Absolutely hammered for, as you said, Corey, bringing out, not by anybody in the MAGA coalition, but just getting hammered in general in the media for quote unquote dredging up an old story. And they're claiming that she's doing this because she's trying to run interference for Trump over Epstein. I am not ready. I am not willing to go there. And you know, Corey, I've gone back and forth on this woman 15,000 fucking times over the course of this show. I love her one day, I hate her the next, and I have my reasons for those for that. But for me, the Epstein stuff is at a point now where it's on the DOJ's desk. And Tulsi Gabbard is the head of intelligence. Now, if she were in a situation where you could say that Jeffrey Epstein was absolutely involved in intelligence, she may have a role in this right now. But right now, it seems like a DOJ issue as far as Epstein goes. That might change in the coming weeks as more things come out.
Just trying to get back in the good graces of the of the president because she came out and said that Iran didn't have and is not trying to attain nuclear weapons.
No, I honestly think this is just Tulsi Gabbard doing her job. I honestly think this is just Tulsi Gabbard examining intelligence like she's supposed to do as the head of intelligence. Right? If there's any inkling of genuine intelligence that's not like, as Michael Tracy would say, mythology around Jeffrey Epstein, then Tulsi Gabbard should absolutely jump in there and see how intelligence ties in. I know we have our suspicions about Jeffrey Epstein and his ties to intelligence, and I think those suspicions are warranted. But again, like, two things can be true at the same time. If you have intelligence suggesting that an outgoing administration used the intelligence community, by the way, to frame an incoming president for treason, I think that's a legitimate job for the head of intelligence to look into.
That's pretty fair.
So go ahead and roll it, Belle. I'm going to take a leak while she talks, because I think this is like 2 minutes.
At President Trump's direction and with the support and coordination with the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Rick Crawford, today we've released a declassified oversight majority staff report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration. We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice.
I'm just looking at that, Dan, and I'm looking at like the White House podium and thinking about like if this was 30 or 40 years ago and just how much of a ridiculously big statement this would be and how this would be all over the news. And the idea that the entire little charade of the Steele dossier and Trump being blackmailed and being Putin's puppet and all that stuff that we were fed in 2016 being exposed like this would just be everywhere and all over the news. And it barely made a blurb.
It would be a Watergate style fiasco.
This is pretty much like a Watergate, like on the same level as Watergate.
It really is. It really is. Other than, how much was Nixon involved? There's debate about that.
Right. And we've talked about it. And so and for us, it's not really news. Like we've talked about the Steele dossier being bunk and it being paid for through like the Clinton campaign, right? Like I'm not out of step right there, right? The Clinton campaign helped fund the Steele dossier.
I just paid $88.
It's a mess. Like Trump's place was bugged, like based on false warrants. Like it's actually like a really, really big deal.
So what's interesting about this is the fact that it's the first time you really have anybody from the Trump administration saying in any sort of official capacity that Barack Obama and his administration were directly involved. We've heard Donald Trump say Donald Trump things about this. He just kind of off the cuff throws stuff out there. But this is really the first sort of in any really official capacity anybody said anything. So there really isn't. So Tulsi Gabbard goes on in this speech to kind of delve into some of the new revelations regarding sort of what the intelligence community knew at the time of the Russiagate fiasco, how involved the Obama administration was, and there isn't a whole lot that we didn't already know, but there are a few things. So we've got newly released documents from Tulsi Gabbard that show that in September of 2016, this is what she goes on to say in the rest of that speech, that, by the way, CNN happened to cut off as soon as she got to the juicy stuff, just in case anybody wasn't paying attention. But documents from September of 2016, that the intelligence community believed Russia lacked the intent and capability to hack U.S. elections in September of 2016. This assessment sharply contrasted with the December 2016 intelligence community assessment, which claimed Russia interfered to help Trump win. The shift in tone occurred after Trump's victory. How interesting, how convenient, raising questions about political motivations and Hillary Clinton running around all the fucking running her mouth on The View or whatever, talking about how he's an illegitimate president. Remember how many times she said that? Yeah. In that amount of time. So there was also redacted FBI documents and a second investigation coming. So the FBI recently released heavily redacted documents tied to a second Trump-Russia investigation that was opened in May of 2017. So this would have been when Trump was president of the United States. The reasons for launching this probe remain obscured, but journalists like one of our boys, Aaron Mate, argue that the redactions hide embarrassing details about the investigation's origins. I recommend you go check out Aaron's work because it's pretty goddamn good on this stuff. These revelations.
He's a leftist, by the way.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. These revelations suggest that the Crossfire Hurricane probe may have been flimsy or politically motivated, especially as it was folded into the Mueller investigation. Now, there's legal fallout and indictment pressure Tulsi Gabbard has referred Barack Obama era officials, including James Comey, to the Justice Department for prosecution, alleging they manufactured intelligence to justify surveillance and investigations. That's kind of under the purview of things I think we already kind of knew. A FISA court ruling has greenlit the FBI to share sensitive Russiagate documents with Congress, including materials tied to the Carter Page surveillance warrants. Again, we already know what's in that. Carter Page was framed for nothing. Media and public accountability. Critics argue that these revelations undermine the credibility of media outlets that promoted the Trump-Russia collusion narrative. Again, stuff we already know. So not a whole lot that's new, but the fact that there's actually a push to do something about this is nice. Call me a cynic, but am I confident anything's going to come out of this? No, I'm not. Because you shouldn't have political heroes, Corey.
You shouldn't.
Like Barack Obama's not going to prison. Can we just say that? Am I allowed to just say that? There's no fucking way Barack Obama's going to prison.
You know why he's not?
Presidential immunity.
Okay, so that's the short answer. Remember, the Supreme Court just said that the presidents can have presidential immunity. But okay, I thought you were going to say something else. Actually, that was my answer.
That was it. Presidential immunity.
It's just presidential immunity. It was.
By the way, we the people gave Congress the power to give the president that power. So,
good job,
we're at
guys.
fault. It's our fault. We did it.
Yeah, way to fuck up.
Bunch of fucking idiots. But again, this is why I titled the episode what I did. Russiagate or Epstein, pick a side or fuck off. I want both of these things to be disclosed. But electoral politics, they don't like that. You either want the Epstein stuff disclosed or you want the Russiagate stuff disclosed. And that might all flip on its head in 6 months. Because just 6 months ago, it was MAGA that wanted the Epstein stuff disclosed. Now, to their credit, they also wanted the Russiagate stuff disclosed. Just depends on who it helps. It just depends on who it helps at any particular time. 6 months from now, somehow, Russiagate might help the Democrats. I don't know how that could happen, but it could. Why couldn't it?
And then immediately they'll want the files released.
100%. I think we just predicted the future. Somehow in 6 months, the Russiagate investigation is going to help the Democrats. Look out for that. I'm just saying.
Everything's computer.
Oh, man. I didn't have anything else other than Shane Gillis at the ESPYs. We don't have to play that. Just
I got a bill to
back.
keep an eye on.
Do you?
Yeah. All right, you ready? Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like bipartisan bill, actually. It has to do with immigration. And I just found it an interesting bill. And hey, Bell, real quick, will you look up any updates on the Dignity Act of 2025?
ChatGPT will help you.
So it's called the Dignity Act of 2025. It's a bipartisan plan from Republican Maria Elvira Salazar of Florida and Democrat Veronica Escobar of Texas. The bill would let immigrants who have been in the U.S. since before 2021 apply for legal status and work permits for up to 7 years. The legislation comes with restrictions, though. They'd have to pay restitution, check in with Homeland Security, and agree to no federal benefits. The bill also speeds up a pathway for dreamers, immigrants who came to the U.S. as children, to gain permanent citizenship. And it goes beyond status. It focuses on border security, fewer risks for asylum seekers, and stricter rules for employers. All businesses would have to use E-Verify to check if someone is allowed to work in the U.S. And while this bill tries to strike a balance between immigration enforcement, it continues to heat. Or this bill tries to strike a balance between. Never mind. I wrote a second piece and it just didn't matter. It's just. But no, it was just a bill, but regarding immigration, that just seems like it does it. It takes the little hair and actually splits it down the middle, and it's just like, I can't really see, I don't really see anything in there that I disagree with.
I mean, I'm sure there probably is, but again, this is one of those things where it's like reasonable compromise, but that's probably why it won't go anywhere, because it's all about electoral politics.
So the bill would be like this, right? Like everything we're talking about right now, where I said, oh yeah, I don't really find anything to disagree with. But then to get it to be voted to the floor,
it'll be
50
shoved into some other
earmarking it.
huge bill. Yeah, it'll be shoved into some other huge bill. And
especially because now they're a week and 2 months behind because fucking what's his face? Mike Johnson decided to kick everyone out a week early in the House because they wanted to see the Epstein files.
Yeah, again, convenient timing, Mike Johnson. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, here's a little bit of common sense compromise. That's not how American politics works. We know this. And again, we're not going to vote our way out of that.
Nope.
You're never going to vote your way out of it. I actually did have one other thing that I noticed before we get to your TikToks. So you have a win for the Maha movement, where Steak and Shake, I know we talked about the sugar
beef tallow,
sugar Coke next year. Yeah, Steak and Shake, they have already, I believe they've already started cooking their fries in beef tallow. But they are also talking about now switching over to full cane sugar Coca-Cola. And I actually have a problem with this. Not because I have an issue with beef tallow. I make my own beef tallow at home. I fucking love it. Or full sugar Coke or any of that.
You make your own full sugar Coke?
Yeah, I don't do that. I wish I could, though. That'd be dope. The problem is that this is being sold as like...
Go ahead and write that down, Bill. Dan wishes he could make
full sugar Coke. Lost you there for a second, but you're back. I have a little bit of an issue with this. I actually have a little bit of an issue with this. Not because I don't like either of these things, but it's this weird thing that I keep seeing that's making me so fucking mad all over social media, of this sort of appeal to nature fallacy that people have. And a lot of it's coming from the Maha movement. Like, I really like the fact that people are paying more attention to what they're putting in their bodies. I don't have any issue with that. But there is so much fear-mongering and grift in both in the health and fitness industry, as well as in the food industry. Beef tallow and full sugar Coke, these are not healthier alternatives to high fructose corn syrup or seed oils. It's bullshit. It's a grift, and it pisses me off. The fact of the matter is this. Those are still really high-calorie, low-satiation foods. And if you eat those things at a high clip, you are still going to get fat, and you are still going to have poor metabolic health from eating too many of those things. Because
it's just the processed stuff is cheaper.
One of the issues that I have with the Maha movement is this idea that we can blame the ingredients for why we're so unhealthy. When the reality is, the reason we're so unhealthy is because we eat too many fucking calories and we don't move enough. It's basic thermodynamics. It's basic nutrition stuff. This isn't fucking hard. Seed oils are not poison. I'm so fucking sick of hearing that shit. Why is Japan one of the healthiest countries in the world when all they do is cook with seed oils? It's another way of pushing accountability away from yourself, where, oh, the ingredients are shit. That's why I'm fat. No, you eat too much fucking food and you don't move enough. Calories in, calories out. Like, the amount of fitness people that I see online that are like walking the grocery stores and being like, don't buy this. It's got red dye 40 in it. Instead, buy this thing that, by the way, if you looked me up for 2 seconds, you would know that I have an investment in this company. There's so much of that shit going on. Flav City Bobby, have you seen his fucking videos? That guy is the biggest fucking turd on in the history of the internet when it comes to pushing his expensive ass bullshit. Don't buy this peanut butter. It's got too much sugar in it. Instead, buy this fucking pecan butter that I invest in that costs you $40 fucking dollars a jar. And what's funny is all of this stuff is coming out as people have to stretch their dollar more.
And then they start buying this stuff and they follow these guys and it leads right into a fucking right-wing fucking pipeline every time.
Somehow, strangely, that does happen.
I know. What is it about the health advocate to being alt-right pipeline that like
it's the same thing. No, it's fitness stuff too, dude. Like if you go into like a weightlifting YouTube because you want to try to like learn proper form for a deadlift or something like that, it also leads into right-wing content. It doesn't. I don't understand it. I don't get how that always works, but it doesn't matter. All I want people to understand is this. Stop telling your kids that food is poison. It's not. No food is poison. Learn to teach. I'm saying this as somebody who's not a dad, but I am saying this as somebody who grew up as a kid at one point, who grew up in a house where my parents never told me that any food was poison. I think I'm doing okay. It's like that sugar is not poison. Your kid wants a chocolate bar? Okay, have a chocolate bar, but maybe let's have an apple with it too. You know,
let's go outside and run around that energy for 45 minutes. Yeah.
It's the have what you want, add what you need concept to nutrition. It's okay to have French fries. It's okay to eat beef tallow fries and and real sugar Coke too. But the fact of the matter is, there are no good studies. No, first of all, you can't do a randomized controlled trial over the course of 30 years. Nobody's going to go with the same diet over the course of 30 years. But there are no randomized controlled trials that will suggest to you in any way that seed oils are more inflammatory than beef tallow or anything of that sort, or that sugar is worse for your metabolic health, or I'm sorry, high fructose corn syrup is worse for your metabolic health than full cane sugar is. They're almost the same molecule.
I'm going to bring Bell back in because he says he has your bombing numbers.
Oh, he's got bombing numbers.
Remember we asked him, like 20 minutes ago, we asked him to look up who did more bombings.
I lost
Corey
him.
was just sick. Corey was just sick of me preaching to people about food.
But the breakdown was that George Bush sent more feet on the ground, while Obama sent more drones. You know, so there was more bombs by Obama, but there's still a debate on who did more damage.
Well, Bush also did 2 fucking full-scale invasions.
And so to give Obama a caveat, his administration, I believe, was the first administration to really start like actually documenting drone strikes.
Yeah, probably.
So obviously his number probably looks higher.
He's off the hook then. He's good.
No, that's not
not
true.
a war not a war criminal at all.
I got a little story. A little news article that I was reading about.
Is it about how Trump wants to block the stadium deal for the Commanders until they change their name back to the Redskins? That's true. That's reality.
I know. That's ridiculous. But do you remember Fire Aid? Remember when those fires happened in the Palisades in California?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like 3 weeks ago.
No, it was a while ago. But like they don't really know where the money went.
Of course. Talk about grifting.
So I have this little bit right here that I was going to read from Straight Arrow News real quick. That
this is Black Lives Matter 2.0.
Los Angeles outlets Fox 11 and Circling News have spotlighted some of the nonprofits that received fire aid funding. The fire aid money is not helping people, it's helping nonprofits, journalist Sue Pasco told Fox 11. While there is no evidence of fund misuse, several groups have come under scrutiny for the relevance of their work to wildlife recovery or wildfire recovery. If you want a good laugh, one of the nonprofits cleans preschool bathrooms, Presco said. Who knows? Maybe there's a preschool bathroom that needs cleaning. In other words, a lot of these nonprofits are ancillary, Fox 11's Marla Tellez said. Another grand recipient is the California Native Vote Project, which seeks to increase political participation and equity for Native American communities. Fire Aid awarded an undisclosed grant amount to the nonprofit in order to assist Native families displaced by wildfires. Which sounds, sure.
I don't know, Corey. That preschool bathroom thing sounds.
U.S. Census data shows
kids can have messy shits.
U.S. Census data shows the Pacific Palisades area has just 16 Native American residents. 3 communications groups collectively received $700,000 to provide critical information for fire victims. Fire Aid did not break down how much each organization received.
What you don't know, Corey, what you don't know is, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I have to get this out there. What you don't know is that one of those residents is the fact that Elizabeth Warren has a vacation house in the Palisades.
Among the recipients was the Altadena Talks Foundation to fund fire-related podcasts. According to Fire Aid, Altadena Talks Foundation supports fire-impacted families in Altadena through sustainable recovery efforts and fire-related podcast programming hosted by Tony Raines, with funding restricted exclusively to fire-related podcasts.
You sure about that?
The podcast YouTube channel was created on February 7th after the wildfires occurred. Its most viewed posted video had 31 views at the time of this report, and its
goddamn, that's worse than us.
And its latest live stream had 25 views, which is what's right on par for us.
I just paid $88
during the latest live broadcast. Raines was actually on vacation. According to Fire Aid's website, $3.3 million was awarded to musicians and arts organizations. 2 music nonprofits were tasked with offering mental health services and helping cover housing and basic living costs for musicians. The Pasadena NAACP also received an undisclosed amount to create spaces where people can unite and share resources. What the fuck
does that mean?
Another grant went to After the Fire, a Sonoma-based nonprofit hundreds of miles away from Los Angeles. The group received money to connect past fire survivors with current ones to share advice and lessons learned. These are just some of the groups highlighted by journalists attempting to track where the $100 million went and how it was used. One of them said, "We help mobile home parks. There are 2 mobile home parks in Palisades, and I contacted the people there, and they never received any money," Pesco said.
Wow.
What the fuck? Oh! I had one more opening note that I did forget to bring up.
Oh boy.
So Dan, it looks like I actually have, just by the skin of my nuts and the skin of my teeth, I avoided joining a cult. Dan, you're Catholic.
Your son is in one.
Dan, you're Catholic.
Just ignored that.
So you might not have ever gone to the different Christian youth events.
By the way, I'm not a Catholic. I was raised in the Catholic Church.
Right. So you're Catholic. So check this out. This is just a trailer for this show called Shiny Happy People.
Shiny Happy Season 2.
What a ride it's been.
Did you ever hear about Teen Mania?
It's like Coachella for youth groups.
It's a great place to meet other Christians.
Oh, you almost went to this?
Thing to do with your youth group.
Music's playing, fire shooting off.
It was what? Do you love God or do you love God?
And the founder, Ron Luth, he's a ringmaster.
God wants to use you.
We believed we were changing the world. But then it gets weird.
How do you know you're in a cult?
Shocker.
That's your normal.
Teen Mania was the biggest Christian youth organization in America.
At the beginning, the goal was to get teenagers on mission trips.
Don't you want to go around the world and save people for Jesus? Every role was filled by teenagers.
Yes.
Working 15-hour days, sacrificing yourself for this vision.
It is exploiting these kids.
I was a teenage telemarketer for Jesus.
You were not only a child of God, you were also part of a political project.
A teenager who signed up to go with Teen Mania on a mission trip. But she was murdered in the Columbine shooting.
And Ron Luce sees an opportunity.
It's time for war! I'm looking at a whole army of young people who want to speak up!
It's a matter of life or death. Which side are you on?
They are creating soldiers.
You were blindfolded, put in a van.
I was days from dying.
Your life means nothing compared to the greater purpose.
We were all ready to do whatever it takes to just save the world. We need to take America back to being a Christian nation.
These are the things I'm thinking about as a teenager.
I'm traumatized.
The most valuable thing you could ever do is die.
Did you assume as a kid that you would die a martyr?
I never thought there would be another option.
You almost joined this group, Corey?
Dude, so I've been to Acquire the Fires. I remember the Acquire the Fire battle cry. I went on missions trips through this group to the inner cities to help people in the inner city and stuff like that.
You're susceptible
The
to cults.
only reason I did, well, I was fucking 14 years old, you know, and it was with my parents. Like, you know, it was through the church. The only reason I didn't go to that very camp that they're fucking talking about, Dan, through my church, was because the funding fell through.
You got saved by capitalism.
I don't know. It was a Christ or capitalism. I don't know. I give a full crap on that one. Because, dude, like, holy fuck. Someone on my Facebook page,
Imagine, Corey, if
ended up going to that camp, and she shared that, and she's like, yeah, she goes, I can't believe the shit that I went through, and this is one of the reasons why I have the issues that I have today, and this and that. And I was like, holy shit, you know, like, I almost went with you. We went to those fucking events. Like,
You make the Pope look like a fool. God will make you pay. Smite them!
it's just fucking wild to me that I was almost a part of a cult, possibly.
Talk to your parents about this?
Not yet, no.
You gonna make them watch Shiny Happy People?
I might.
Well, you know, the church that your parents and my parents attended for a long time.
So it wasn't the church. Like, to give the church I was going to credit, I feel like they were duped as well by this group. This was an event that this group would reach out to a bunch of churches and be like,
You sure about that?
And the churches are always looking for something for their youth to do, to have fun with, and music and a big ass concert.
So don't get drunk and do blow. That's the best way for kids to have fun.
That's true. But yeah, no, dude, the first time I ever been to Ford Field was at this event.
Ah!
It wasn't even for a football game.
You almost got sucked into a Christian martyr cult. I love the idea of a teenager being a telemarketer for Jesus. Dude, if somebody called me trying to telemarket
they would be probably like teenagers probably calling youth pastors and stuff. They probably it's set up like any other marketing thing. You get leads, you know. But
God makes a lot of money, man. God makes people a lot of fucking money.
Tax-free money.
Yeah, it's gross, man. I love watching these documentaries about fucking like mega
Kenneth
churches and shit. Yeah, like mega churches and shit.
Joel Osteen.
Who is the chick from Tennessee that was kind of good looking when she was younger, and now she kind of looks like a strung out hooker? The hell was that bitch's name? I was watching her documentary. That was a fun one. She was the one who did the diet craze. Who is that woman? She made people lose weight through God, and apparently the diet program really worked, and she was really popular in the 90s and 2000s, and then she lost her fucking mind. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? She has a big-ass hair, the big-ass ridiculous hair. The hell is that broad's name? Doesn't matter. But yeah, just using tax-free money. A lot of grift in the God, a lot of money in the God business. That's why Righteous Gemstones is such a good show. You got TikToks?
I do.
Bell's got TikToks. Bell's got the TikToks. Must be getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out there.
So this first one, I think I have them in order pretty well. I just thought it was funny. We're talking about the DNC. I remember I was talking about the low-hanging fruit and how they have earlier and how they have no policies. That as long as there is an enemy that they can characterize and create a straw man fallacy around, then they don't have to worry about anything. So go ahead and play this one, Belle, because I feel like this is like what happens behind the closed doors.
New polling has dropped. Third-party support is above by 5%. 5%. That's Jill Stein levels of catastrophic. Hey, deep breaths. We've been here before. Just release the "if you don't vote for Democrats, you're voting for fascism" tweet template. We did already twice, being ratio by people quoting Fred Hampton. Okay, in that case, pivot. Tell them it's the most important election of their lifetime. Again, it's tradition. It's part of our brand now, like brunch. Shit, now they're asking why we didn't codify Roe when we had the supermajority under Obama. Easy fix. Blame Susan Sarandon. And what about the fact that we just approved another $1 billion to is not real? Say it's complicated. Bring up identity politics. Find a Jewish Democrat who supports the war and amplify their, quote, bonus points if they cry on CNN. And the squad voted for more cops. What do we do with that? Oh, God, they were pressured. It's a complex vote. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Insert inspirational AOC gif here. Okay, and when people start to realize that we're just the party of vibes, then what? Then give them better vibes. Post a TikTok of Kamala dancing, add some synth music, say, this is what freedom looks like. Instant distraction. What if people start to realize we're just the gayer arm of the empire? Then we just say, would you rather have Trump, and watch them spiral? Works like a charm. You're a monster. Nah, just a Democrat.
You're a monster.
It's not working anymore.
No,
that's why. Yeah, that's why. That's why you have Rahm Emanuel saying a man can never become a woman. Just feeling it out. Rahm's just feeling it out. Somebody's got to be the scapegoat.
This next one, it was some stand-up comedian. At this point, I don't even remember what he exactly says, but I thought it was good, so I guess we're just gonna roll with it.
Very good. I like
You
that
can't
idea.
be liberal anymore. You got to go further left than the Democrats right now. They've given up on us. We got to move. Because liberals are such fucking losers. I can't be part of that bullshit. They're such pussies. Liberals, like when Republicans get mad, they form a militia and storm the Capitol. When liberals get mad, they knit a hat that says, "Fuck Trump." It's just so embarrassing. Liberals still think art is powerful. Isn't that so embarrassing? Like, my poetry will stop fascism. It's like, buy a fucking gun or shut up. I'm done. I was talking to my friends and they were like, I love the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. He really went after Donald Trump, you know. Samuel L. Jackson, a black man playing Uncle Sam. What a powerful metaphor exposing the extensive black contributions throughout U.S. history. I was like, yeah, I'm sure Trump's shaking in his boots right now. He's like, the liberals are attacking with metaphor. What if they acquire puns? Remember when we defeated Hitler with sarcasm? I saw one of my liberal friends, she posted the other day, she's like, in dark times like these, I remember that even being yourself is a form of rebellion. Yeah, I don't think Che Guevara got famous for just being true to his guts. I feel like they're not in the Oval Office like, Mr. Trump, we're going to have to bring back DEI. A barista in the Tenderloin's comfortable in her own skin.
It's so true. Like that's why when you hear actual leftists speak, you have, whether or not you're
almost like a breath of
socialist or not,
fresh air, because it's an idea that comes from an alt-approaching form of view, but it's not shrouded in like
you have a complete
it's not shrouded in
disagreement with
identity
them.
politics and moral superiority or intellectualism. It's just
You have a complete disagreement with them ideologically, and all of their ideas are shit. But they're at least coming from a place of like not what liberals do.
Coming from a place of we don't like liberals either.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we can agree on something. Assuming you're a conservative.
All right, this
which
next
I'm
one is
not.
John Ossoff. I thought when he was giving the speech, at first I was like, he sounds like Trump 2.0 first off, and it's funny because we were talking about like the platitudes and all the shit that a lot of these politicians say, but for a little bit here, I feel like he was spitting, so I figured I'd share it.
Electoral politics. Here we go.
See, I get why people voted for him. Because even
No!
before he came on the scene, America had the most
45-year-old
corrupt
wine
political
mom in the
system in the
background.
Western world. It's been running on corporate money, secret money, billionaire money, both sides. And it's worse than ever now. Citizens United was the worst court decision in modern American history. And when members of Congress aren't begging for money from lobbyists, they're trying to dodge getting carpet bombed by these super PACs. Senators get threatened every day with millions and millions of dollars of attack ads over the votes that we take. And see, this is why nothing works for ordinary people. It's not because of woke college kids or trans students or because there are interracial couples in cereal commercials. It's because the people's elected representatives don't represent the people. They represent the donors. And that corruption is why they just defunded nursing homes to cut taxes for the rich. Corruption is why you pay a fortune for prescriptions. Corruption is why your insurance claim keeps getting denied. Corruption is why hedge funds get to buy up all the houses in your neighborhood, driving you out of the market, and then your corporate landlord ignores your calls during a gas leak. Corruption is why that ambulance costs $3,000 after you just had to get your choking toddler to the hospital. So Trump promised to attack a broken system. I get it. Ripe target. But here's the thing, he's a crook and a con man, and he wants to be a king. Yes, the system really is rigged, but Trump's not unrigging it. He's re-rigging it for himself.
How much did he sound like Obama during that whole speech?
I don't know, but I don't know about you, but I saw right through every single fucking word he just said, because he did this thing that electoral politics, when you're trying to make a move to win an election, or either to keep your seat or to, I don't know if John Ossoff's going to fucking run for president. He speaks well enough; he could probably do it. But they do it's that fucking AOC thing. It's that fucking Bernie Sanders thing. Bernie Sanders isn't quite as bad. He gets it right sometimes. But they do this thing where they talk about corruption is the reason. Corruption. But they never fucking point out where the actual corruption is coming from. Sure, he called out Citizens United, but I guarantee you in the next election, he's going to utilize the law of Citizens United to boost his own
100%.
campaign. Let's look
Because
look
he
back.
has to, because everyone else is.
Right. But they do this thing where it's corruption. What he never says is the thing that actually matters, which is it's the fact that the government being embedded with the quote unquote corrupt landlord, the protectionist policy that forces what's the word I'm looking for? Rent control is the reason why when you call that fucking landlord, he doesn't come and fix your goddamn fire alarm, because he doesn't make the amount of money off of you that he needs to pay for that building, and he has to get it through government subsidies as well. So,
or he utilizes the government itself after the rent control is put in place, that he just keeps the building looking like shit so he can get a tax deduction.
So yeah, exactly. So you can sit there and you can yell about corruption and yell about corruption, all the
And they do.
you want.
It's literally, that's just it. The government does this stuff constantly. When you're talking about like that type of corruption, is like one puts something in place that they think is helping, but it's hindering people, and then the other side exploits it, and then the opposite side exploits the exploitation And then it just domino stacks on top of itself.
Yeah. Scream about corruption all you want. I don't give a shit anymore. Talk about where the corruption's actually coming from and do something about it.
All right. I got one for you. I figured you'd find this one a little funny. The embodiment of the Trump sycophant. Go ahead and play that, Bill. So for the people that are just listening, it's just
Trump
some,
says there is no list and there is no list.
just some Trump supporter. And I've seen this guy before. I think he's a rapper, but he's literally just straight up grifting off of like the Trump train. And he just posted a video of him just like shrugging his shoulders, and it says in the text, it says, if Trump says there is no list, then there is no list.
And you know what?
You're gay.
Yeah. Factually speaking, he's probably right, because it goes back to what I said at the top of the episode, like the Epstein files, the Epstein list. As if is there just like a fucking golden sheet of paper that lists every single person that had an association with Epstein and what their crimes were? No, of course not. That doesn't fucking exist.
Where's this Excel sheet at?
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, that's not a real thing. It's just a metaphorical way of speaking, clearly. So technically, he's right. If Trump says there is no list, there is no list, probably because there is no quote unquote list. It doesn't.
And then this last one is just a fun one, and then we can take off because I got to go to bed.
Me too.
But it's just, I've been fixated on watching these guys religiously almost, and I think it's the funniest fucking thing.
They're in a convenience store.
Hey, buddy, you that one in that Honda out there?
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know I'm gonna go ahead and have to boot it today.
For what?
I'm
I'm trying to get gas, jackass.
No, I'm not gonna repeat myself. You already heard what I said. You're parked illegally. I'm gonna go have to boot it.
Hey. Don't speak up to me.
Don't start getting tough out here.
Don't speak up to me, buddy. Better tread lightly.
Hey, I'm just doing my job, man.
Tread lightly.
I'm just doing my job.
Tread lightly, buddy, because you're on real fucking thin ice right now.
Who's just doing my job?
Jackass? Does he work here? Oh, you work here. That's the type of people you're hiring? He works here. No.
Yeah, he hired me.
No, I don't hire.
Yeah, you did. I just haven't met the boot quota this month, and I've been looking for a jackass like him, so I'm gonna go ahead and have to boot it.
You know what? I'm gonna beat his ass here in a second, and you're gonna help me. Come around that counter. You're gonna help me. I'm gonna beat his ass. Come on. I need your help. Help me.
I'd pummel you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You think just because I'm working, I'm not gonna whoop your ass?
Lower your voice. Lower your voice.
You know who you're
Because you're trying to boot my car out there. Why?
It's parked illegally.
I'm not parked illegally.
Yeah, it is. It's gay parking only.
Is there gay parking? Is this side gay and this side straight?
100% serious.
Which side's gay and straight? Get the hell out of here.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here and I'm going straight
out.
out.
Little fucking honey pack in your ass. Get the hell out of here.
Bro, what the hell is your problem?
Yeah, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me.
That was weird as
Don't laugh
hell.
at me like I'm a fucking joke or something.
You are a joke,
I
buddy.
stuff you.
You
I
are a
stuff you
joke,
like
buddy.
fucking turkey, buddy. Get the hell out of here.
I dare you.
Oh, no. I don't even know what's going on. Sir, you're gonna help me.
I'll tell you what's going on.
He's
We're
being
gonna
a
kick his
jackass.
ass. What the hell is that shirt
You don't
too?
want me-
What the hell does that even mean?
My girlfriend got me for my fucking birthday. Hey, sir, I need your help. Help me kick his ass.
Let this man
Sir,
go.
I can't-
He's on my
I
side,
can't
not
do this by
yours.
myself.
I don't even know what's going on, man.
He's being a jackass, and he's trying to fill my car.
He's not. Don't involve him in this. I'm gonna kick your ass and boot your car, and then we're gonna go on
Sir,
about
I
our
need your
day.
help. Sir, please, I need your help, please.
Yeah.
know what's going on.
What are you calling? The cops?
You know, fuck it, I'm gonna call the cops too.
Yeah, here.
No, thank you. I do appreciate you letting me use your phone.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
It's like my phone's like on 1%.
I need that shit back though.
Yeah, there's some little jackass here that's actually talking about he's gonna tow my car. But I suggest you guys get down here, or else one, me and the store owner are just gonna kick his ass, or two, I'm gonna stuff him like a fucking turkey myself. I'm gonna stuff you, and trust me, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna stuff you with.
You know how I know you're gay?
How?
You like Coldplay.
Dude. Oh my god, these two guys, they just go into random stores like that and then just cause this altercation and just involve everyone around them. And then whenever someone goes to call the police, they're like, no, I got it. And then they go to fake call the cops.
I like how the guy in the shot, like the guy that's being filmed, is clearly this like really fit black dude, like younger black dude, probably younger than us, and he talks like a boomer white guy the whole time.
All right, listen here, buddy. He just says things like, "You better skedaddle. I am stone cold serious.
I'm gonna stuff you."
You're being a real jerk off right now. Lower your tone. Watch your voice.
That seems like a good place to end the show. Well, the Bodysnatcher is back on
Wait, hold on.
the ones and twos. I wanted to give Bell credit for being a full-time employee.
Did you tell him about
who makes no money? I could stuff him.
You better watch it, buddy. I'll stuff you like a turkey.
Go outside, nerd.
Libservative Podcast is found on all social media podcast platforms. Our website is libservativeshow.com. We can be found at Libservative on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibservativePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libservative Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libservativepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today. And as always, he's Dan Griffin.
He's Corey Walsh. Bell the Bodysnatcher all night on the ones and twos.
And we are out of here.
Very well.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.